with us this morning. We thank you. This is our second episode per se, second instance. So our failures last night will be your successes. And that's one of the things that I want to look back and just remember to always try to fail forward. And if you fail, great. What did you learn from it? And do it better. And so, no offense to everyone last night, but we could have done better. I could have done better. I don't know about you.
Oh, I don't think we failed last night. I think we slayed it, man.
Well,
we got
good.
hundreds of people that make up awesome goals. I don't know. That's a win for me, but
it's all right. We're going to do great this morning. So real quick, we printed off the goal planner. You guys printed off. We have our copy right here, as you can see that. Make sure you have that available where you can write, as this, again, is going to be interactive. This is a workshop, and a workshop means work. So hopefully you guys have maybe read through that. You've gotten a lot of the intention. You've read a lot of what goals are, how to create a goal. And then you maybe get to the worksheet part of it and you're like, that's what we're going to work on.
yes.
So real quick, as some of you on here, you obviously found Tyler and Kelly, you found this, or maybe a friend shared it with you. And we're so grateful that you guys joined us. But real quick, we're going to share a little bit of our experiences from a business, from an entrepreneurial, from a goal setting, the things that we've learned and how that really plays out to this workshop. And so we want to share that real quick so you guys kind of understand a little bit better who we are, how we've used goals and set things. So I'm going to let Kelly kind of rock and roll to start with that, and then I'll share mine as well.
Awesome. Yes, you guys, just thank you so much for getting on today. We will be strict 1 hour with you guys, so we know you have lots to do, and so we just want to say thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited for you guys to really write out and share your goals. Just really curious, by a show of hands, who is a goal setter? Who writes them down? Who is an intention, a New Year's resolution person? I love it. And what I love so much is we are going to share with you the exact tracks that I personally run on how I share my goals, writing, and everything. So this is the template that I use. This is exactly how I go through it. And we're just going to work through that together, because I think so many people write down their goals, but there's not necessarily that accountability attached to it, or not necessarily anybody really knowing what their goals are, and they don't feel like they have to hit them. And that's why a lot of the time we're not seeing goals hit. So we are here to help you guys work through this and really figure out what your focused goal should be for maybe the first 3 months of 2018. So you're really focused, intentional on what is going to change your life and make 2017, 2018 just extraordinary. So little background of me. I, from a very young age, was an entrepreneur. Me and my sisters used to, whether it was selling lemonade, selling candy, we used to create cards and stuff and sell them on the corner, anything we could do to make money. I remember one year we climbed up into pine trees, and we cut mistletoe out of it, threw some berries in it, stood outside of a grocery store, and made $500 that Christmas selling mistletoe in little plastic Ziploc bags. My parents were both entrepreneurs, so we always worked really hard with them from a young age. And so it's just always something that's in my blood. At the age of 17, I moved out of my house. I became a hairdresser and was serving tables at night. And I started my own business just doing hair. And I loved the hair industry. I loved making people feel beautiful, making people feel good about themselves. There's nothing better than turning them around in that chair and seeing that smile light up. And what's so fun is I still get to do that this day and age, whether it's helping somebody get healthy or helping somebody with their business just explode. There's just something about that. I call it, kind of the light bulb in their heart, the light bulb in their soul. And when you see that go off in a woman or in a man, it is just there's nothing better in the world. And I know a lot of you guys can relate to that. So about 6.5 years ago, Tyler and I came into an opportunity, and so we're in the network marketing business. It's something we're so passionate about. We absolutely love. And in that, we have learned a lot. We have learned as we've had to invest in different businesses, open different businesses, and we have a gym, we have real estate, we have a whole bunch of things that we kind of are all into, and we've had a lot of failures, and especially things that have personally happened with our marriage and how we've dealt with that as a working couple. So now what we are so passionate about is helping other couples through that, helping other individuals through that, just go through the things of like how to do this life and to do it well. And so what we love to do is talk about where we messed up and what tools we utilize to get out of those slumps. Yeah. And so that's kind of who we are.
Mm-hmm.
And
so my background real quick is I grew up on a dairy farm in Ohio. My entrepreneurialism started when I was 8 or 9 years old and I bought my first cow. I can remember writing a $1,000 check out of my checking account. My parents gave me a checking account when I was 8. I went on then to probably spend $30,000 or $40,000 throughout, until I was in college on cows, buying, selling, so forth and so on. And those cows actually are what paid for college. I had other 4-H, FFA projects, those type of things. And one of the things for me along that process, going through college and then into professionalism, I got a degree in animal science. I was a dairy nutritionist. And what I always found is if I had a goal and if there was someone else to hold me accountable to it, man, I performed better. Whether I was on a team, whether it was someone that was relying on me, family point of view, if there was someone to hold me accountable, if there was someone to do it with, man, I excelled. If it was just for me, whatever. And that really has played through a lot of our professional career. I was a nutritionist for 13 years, 8 of those after starting my own business. And then Kelly and I had the opportunity to work together, starting a gym. We talked about real estate. We talked about, we still own a lot of cows today. And again, in all of those, we've had a lot of successes and we've had failures. And if we look back and recount where we've had the biggest successes, it's when we physically write down those goals. It's when we go through this process. And here in 2018, I won't lie to you, we had goals in 2017. And I shared a lot of this, friends of those of mine on Facebook, and I didn't hit a lot of those goals. And we have a lot of those same goals for 2018 and even bigger. And we realized for us to be accountable, we needed other people to hold us accountable. So you guys are part of that. And we are serving you through that process so we can give to more people the opportunity. We can help reach our goals. And that's what kind of started this goal workshop.
Yes.
And so we're excited about that. And one of the things that we kind of have really gone through, I recently read the book, The One Thing by Gary Keller, and it goes through great foundations of goal setting, great principles in there. And I suggest you guys read it as well. You're going to hear, if you've read it, you're going to hear some things there that mimic, because it all makes sense. But one of the things that he mentioned in there that I thought was so impactful was having different areas of foundations of your life. And I think it's really easy if you've set up resolutions that you've written out 10 or 15 different, and they may just be something like, oh, I want to get engaged in this activity. I want my business to grow. I want to, spend more time with my family. But if they're not really identified with a purpose in a specific area, it's just kind of helter-skelter. And he goes through the kind of the principles of foundations and those being the cornerstones of your life. And from there, you build everything else. So as you guys may have seen in your goal planner, if you see on the front, we have, 6 different topics. And they all start with F. And it's just kind of something that fit well. And so we're going to talk about faith.
Like F words. Faith. Family, financial, fun, fitness, and freaky, my absolute favorite one. And we had a lot of men asking last night, like, is that what we think it is? And we're like, no, this is a PG workshop. It is not what you think it is. We had so many fun couples on last night. It was hilarious. Yes. Anyways, they were rowdy. You guys are super mellow. They were hilarious.
Well, it's kind of the morning. It's afternoon for some. And that's cool. But so real quick, as we go through this process, I want you guys to go ahead and jump to page 4 of your plan. And so if you kind of scroll through, you will see the first one being
faith.
Yes.
And we do talk about these foundations. These have been placed in order, just personal for my non-negotiables this year and kind of what worked for me. And these will change. They will kind of go in and out, just kind of depending on where you are in life and kind of what your focus is. And we're going to teach you guys how to really change that. So we put faith as that foundation because that's our number one foundation when it comes to things. And don't worry, I'm not here to preach with you. If you're not aligned with the same faith as us, you're perfectly okay. We're just going to kind of talk about some ideas of what some faith goals might look like. And as we start talking about these things, we want to use the SMART acronym, and that's on page 3 of your workshop. So how specific is your goal? Is your goal measurable? Like, is it something you can put a time frame on, or is it just like, I want to make $1 million this year and I'm just going to jump blindly into it? Right. But is it measurable where, okay, that means I need to make this much this month, this much this month,
so
measure it out, breaking it down. Is it attainable? If I say I want to, fly tomorrow, like, okay, that's a fun goal, but am I really gonna be able to like fly? Let's be real, And I mean like fly. Actually, the funny thing is, you guys, I really believe I can fly. Like that song, I believe I can fly. I have a very high belief. And so a little cuckoo like that. But that's where we're gonna get those freaky goals. Is it relevant? Like, is it really something that's relevant in your life, or is it
going to make an impact in your life?
Can wait 5 years, or what does that look like? And is it timely? And that's what those little boxes down at the very bottom are. And we'll talk about those two a little bit as well. Yep. Okay, so let's start with faith.
Let's start through the process there. And as you guys see, there's lines 1, 2, and 3. And we kind of, as we're going through things, hopefully you guys kind of have a mindset understanding of maybe something in that area that's something you do. If we spur something there, great. If you're kind of at a block, you can give yourself some time to come back to this one. So the first one, definitions of faith, is a strong belief in God or in the doctrines of a religion based upon spiritual apprehension rather than proof or complete trust or confidence in someone or something. And so for us, that's really, it's finding a basis of understanding. It's for me, early in life is like, why am I here? What am I on this world to do? And part of that was really faith. There's something bigger. There's some purpose for me to be here, to be sharing with you guys today. And so areas where you could have a goal there is, I want to get rooted and grounded. I want to actually, express faith. I want to explore that. It may be, going to a church or, a service.
Yeah, it could be just like starting to meditate. Like it could be joining a Bible study. It could be that you want to read the Bible in a year. There's so many different areas when it comes to faith. It could be just starting to attend some yoga workshops or classes if that's something you haven't explored yet. So something that aligns with your faith and keeps you rooted and grounded and really sets the stage for what 2018 looks like for you. And so what we want you guys to do is write 3 different goals here. Mm-hmm. Just 1, 2, 3, just kind of brainstorm. If you guys are comfortable putting it over in the chat with different ideas, it's great, because something we said might not resonate with you, but there may be somebody out there who has an idea of what their, maybe one of their goals might be, and it might resonate with you. So yeah. Awesome. Great.
One of the things there that I think is good is as we go through this process and we kind of the brainstorming 1, 2, and 3, and we're going to ask you then is to kind of understand why are those goals important? And, what are you trying to accomplish? It may be something where, it's kind of a priority. Is that a priority in your life where you're like, spiritually, I want to get deeper so I'm more grounded. So that way I'm working from a basis of general understanding, as opposed to I'm just going about my day to go about my day to go about my day. And from that, then we're going to ask you to say, of those 3 goals, which is the most important? And probably most important is something that can be jaded, but as we spend a lot of time going through this first one, we're going to get easier as we go through. But one of the things with this is pick one that if you look back in your 2019, January of 2019, something that's like, man, that's going to make an impact in my life or my family. It's relevant. It is something that I can look at it and I can say, wow, that's going to make changes. And that's something that I think it needs to be motivationally driven. If you're looking at to say, oh, I can just do X, Y, and Z to increase my faith. And you look back and say, that's really not going to have an impact on me, my family, my spouse, anyone in my community. Well, then it's probably isn't real relevant from a standpoint of being that one of change. And what we're narrowing down here, what we're really boiling down is finding the one thing, the one goal that's going to make the biggest difference in your life and the life of others.
Yeah, you guys, and studies show, I mean, Simon Sinek says it all the time. If your goal is not something that has a deep-rooted why attached to it, you're probably not going to achieve it. So even if you have something that's deep-rooted, you may still not achieve it. But if there's not an emotional draw behind it, if there's not something when you write down, if I don't accomplish this goal, what is my life going to look like? You guys got to pull the what if out of it. And it really needs to stir you inside. And I'm more the emotional one than Tyler. I see we have a lot of females on here today. So what would it look like if you did not accomplish that goal? That's the goal that you really want to dive into. And I see we have a couple fellas, so I'm not not trying to say all women, but really what makes your tummy churn, your soul burn, that's the one we want. And why does it do that to
If you look through those 3 goals and you look at the ones like, okay, if I don't accomplish that, what's going to happen? If I don't accomplish the other one, what's going to happen? If I don't accomplish the third, what's going to happen? And the one that leaves you kind of like, that's the one you need to write down. And that's the one that's going to continue to be a striking force throughout the year. Okay.
Yeah. So we're there. And this is where I want you guys to get really clear. This is super easy. To accomplish this goal, we're going to look just at this goal. What is one easy, simple step that you can do, like right after you get off this call? So if it's to start attending church tomorrow, start attending church tomorrow. I'm trying to look at the different ones that I've read. Yeah.
There's Wednesday services. Yeah.
Start attending church again. It may be just finding a church and putting it on your calendar. That's easy. That's not stepping into the church. That's not having to be brave and doing something scary that maybe you're not ready for. We are all about that one easy step. Mm-hmm. And then what's the next easy step? But all I want you guys to do today is write that one easy step that you can do immediately for that. So often we hear, do the thing that scares you first. And I just want to say BS to that, you guys. That keeps so many people frozen and halted that they don't accomplish what they need to do. So what is that one easy, simple step that you can do right when you get off of this? And then the next easy step and the next easy step. And guess what? I bet it could be that you want to journal more. You just need to run to Target and buy a journal. Don't worry about journaling. Just buy the journal,
The big part there is the compound effect, the snowball effect. There's a study done, and I don't know if you guys know this, that a domino can knock over a domino that's 50% larger. If you do that, you start with a normal sized domino, and I don't know how big they are, 1.5 inches, 2 inches, whatever it may be. If you continue that, within 32 dominoes, you can knock over Mount Everest. It's pretty amazing. You think about just 32 dominoes. That's it. And so when we say the first step, it doesn't have to be the most monumental. If someone, for example, said, I wanted to read the Bible in a year, my first suggestion is start with something tangible. John Maxwell, who we've done some coaching with this last year, he has a great one for people. And he said, start in Proverbs, and there's, more than 30 of them. There's 30, 31. I can't remember exactly. 31. Proverbs 31, of course. Duh. Anyways, and it's pick the day. So today is the 16th, so you may read Proverbs 16. I did that this morning. It took me like 3 minutes. That was it. And it's just something small that once you get in the habit, I do it through the YouVersion Bible app. That reminds me to do that tomorrow. So I stay with that. Use technology, guys. If it is, use your phone to remind you. I need, we're going to go to church on Sunday. Hey, make sure that on Saturday night or Sunday morning, you have a reminder, we're going to do this. If it's something that you want to accomplish, then that, setting up that easy first step is what's really going to, kind of progress you through the process.
Yes. Awesome. So this is going to be the template that we're going to do for all of these. We won't spend so much time on each one, enough time, but I want you guys to feel free to start working your way in each of these subjects as we come up to it. So that first easy step, and if anybody has any questions, we don't want to move too fast to where we're not answering those. So please go ahead and put those in the chats, and we will definitely
as you guys saw at the bottom, and Kelly mentioned earlier, we put in a section of monthly milestones. We're not going to really go through that now. That's something that our intention is throughout the year as you know, we take the opportunity to work with you guys that choose that want to be kind of this part of the accountability program, that you know, we can reflect back on that. And that may be simple to, you know, you can reflect back on some of your goals. Kelly mentioned earlier, I want to, you know, make $1 million this year. What does that look like monthly? So you break it up so it doesn't seem like this so huge, so this far out, so crazy, where you can split it up and say, oh, I can do that in 1 month. And then the compound effect of that going 2 months and 3 months and 4 months. So you guys good there? Do you guys understand that?
They look good.
Who has a goal already? And if you don't, that's fine. But if you have a goal already, raise your hand. Yep. If you know where you're at, great, awesome, guys. And if you don't, that's okay, because you can come back. This is a worksheet for you guys to, you know, we're going to lead you through the process. We're going to get some of these. And, you know, from that standpoint, then you can kind of go back and maybe you, after we get done with this, you realize, oh, that goal I had with the first one, oh, I can do better than that. Or, oh, that's too, you know, we need to refine it. That's great. You guys have the template, have the worksheet to do so.
All right, let's move on to family. Number 2, non-negotiable. So if you guys, faith, number 1, family, number 2. And I don't think these two can really move too much when it comes to my personal non-negotiables. There's times when, you know, friends and fun and all that kind of stuff may be put on the back burner, but these two are something for me to stay really grounded and centered, are very important for me. So what are great ideas for goals for when it comes to your family? And it doesn't need to be just your immediate family. It doesn't have to be your husband or your kids. It could be sisters, brothers, aunts, uncles, people who are very close to you that are kind of like family also.
Yeah.
And some ideas that we have is maybe date nights with spouse. I know one of my goals for 2018 is every month take our children on separate date nights. One for them each, just to be able to have that special time together.
It can be engaging in an activity with your spouse. For example, Kelly and I this fall, we got into an indoor soccer league. Yes. And that was something for us to do together. It was something for us to do with other people. We've had fun. It's been competitive. I've only had one concussion. And yeah, so.
But I love setting myself up for things that I'm going to fail, because I believe that every successful person has to fail. So I don't mind going to the soccer game. I don't mind failing because, hey, I'm okay. You have to fail, right, in order to win. So it's a little embarrassing out there.
You know, so, you know, part of that may be, you know, like Kelly mentioned, date nights with your kids, date night with your spouse. One of the things that one of my coaches, mentors, you know, shared with me last week during a session is, you know, there was a post that I recently shared on Facebook, and it was just kind of going through family and the fact that I've been able to kind of reconnect with my brother over the last 7-8 months as he moved here to Spokane and to join us in our businesses, and really has been integral as far as organizing everything from a property point of view and a lot of other skills. And, you know, as I shared with that, you know, I had really for the last 20 years, since I graduated high school, I'd never been around him. You know, he's 8.5 years younger, and we just, you know, didn't spend much time together. And now he's been in Spokane. We've been able to do things, and I need to spend more time with him. And I shared this, you know, on Facebook, and my mentor brought it up that in this last year, he was able to reconnect with his brother, and they haven't spoken in 40 years. And it was you know, something where they had a lot of healing. They had a lot of sharing. They had a lot of discussing. There was a lot of, you know, just tension from when they were younger. And, you know, his goal was to look at, you know, I want to reconnect with more of my siblings. He has, you know, 4 siblings, and he has a relationship with now 2 of them. And it's just kind of their family setup. And so this may be one of those where it's emotional. It may be hard. It may be difficult. And I think the real challenge there is, again, as we said earlier, is it going to be impactful? Is it going to be something that starts the process of making a difference in your life, in the rest of your family's life, people that are around you? And so really look for something that is going to be moving. It could be even the fact that, hey, I want to kind of assess those people in my life. Maybe there's a family member that whenever you're around them, they're always pouring on negative energy. They're always kind of like, oh, woe is me. Oh, woe is life. Oh, woe is everything around me. Very depressing. Part of that may be, you know what? I need to spend time with people that are going to lift me up. I need to spend time with people that are going to challenge me to be better and grow bigger. And I think part of that is having that discussion with them, but then really trying to engage in that.
Yeah, it's like that quote, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. I would like to say, show me your family and I'll show you your future. No, but really, like, assess who you're spending, the 5 people that you spend the most time with. If you have a toxic relationship and they're bringing you down, you may need to create some boundaries on that area when it comes to family. So not everything's maybe going to be hunky-dory. It really has to be what is going to help set you up for 2017, 2018.
This is 18.
2018. Gosh.
2019.
2019. Wow.
Yeah.
Anyways.
It's okay. Yeah.
So, and again, you guys, people may need to hear what you have to say. So please put it in the chat if it's something that is important to you and you think it might be able to reach out to somebody else.
Yeah.
And I hope you guys have 3, and I hope you've worked down to that why, the big one that you're really going to focus on and that you really like, really drives you and makes you just emotionally attached to that one. And again, what is that one first easy step? So it could be something where you want to host family dinner night once a week. You want to bring back family dinner night, where everybody's at your house and eating on Sunday nights. Okay, well, maybe that's just sending out an invitation to everybody. That's an easy step to send that invitation. It's an easy step to set it on the calendar. And usually if that easy step, it's easy enough, but somebody's attached to it so it holds you accountable, that again is also going to help you achieve those goals better. Grow date night. Yes, I love that.
Awesome.
Family dinner night. Oh, good. That's great.
Perfect, guys. Thanks for sharing.
Awesome ideas, you guys. That's so great. All right. Any questions on family? Cool. Let's move on.
Okay. Finances and business.
Oh, beautiful.
And this is an area that I think a lot of times when we talk about goals, I think it's really easy for people to kind of gravitate to this one. The reason why
the top 2, this and fitness are the top 2.
Yeah,
goals.
because those are usually the most measurable because there's like a number attached. Well, I hate to break it to you. Once you see the number, it's after. And we really want to kind of keep you guys away from focusing on the after and instead, what are the actions that lead you to that result? You can have a goal this year of, wanting to, we had somebody last night, they've never earned 6 figures and they're looking at their family as their family's growing. It's like, I don't know if we can do that. And it's like, if that's your goal, I want to earn 6 figures, then great. That's how you're going to do it. That's your goal, but what are going to be your actions along the way to get there? If you say, well, I just want to earn 6 figures and you get to December 31st and you look back and you're like, well, I didn't hit it, you should be easily to understand why you didn't. Did I not, look at my monthly income? Did I not understand what I needed to go do to get that? So this is an area where,
and I do want to just really talk about the freaky goal here. So, and let me just explain that because this is where we got a lot of confusion. Your freaky goal is going to be something like a huge stretch. So that might be a freaky goal to make 6 figures for that man. And so that's going to go over in that section. This is here. I want you guys to still stay real and tangible. So something that is attainable. I don't want you to go too much into outer space. And I get it because I'm like an outer space girl. So I'm like, let's open 5 new businesses this year and this and that. So I just want to really make that clear here. And we do finances because it's a fun F word, but it's also in regards to business. So what does it look like? Do you guys need to start just creating a family budget? Do you need to attend like a Crown Financial Ministries class? That's personally our favorite, but we also know Dave Ramsey has a great program out there as well. Is it something that you just need to sign up for? Is it something where you need to just have a money chat with your spouse or with somebody? Is it where you need an accountability partner to kind of sit and watch the way you're spending your finances? Is it where you want to grow your business this year? And I know there'll be more ideas, so as you're getting ideas, make sure and put those down into the chat. And I want you guys to really think about goals that are attainable but still stretch you. So they need to be uncomfortable. They need to kind of be a little nervous that you're writing them, but not so much to where it's, kind of outer spacey.
Yeah. And as you're thinking about that, think about the result. Think about as we get into a year from now and we're reviewing these and you stop and think about this goal. If I attain that, say for example, if you create a budget for your family and, maybe you don't have one and maybe you don't have that understanding, you can think a year from now, man, if we have a budget, I know we're going to be able to maybe finally, allot money to be able to buy a house. I know that we're going to be able to do something where we can pay for our kids in schooling. It may be something to where if we have a budget, I know, I can be better with my finances so I can give more. It may be, along those lines. And you stop and you think about it. Man, this last year, I was able to budget. I was able to grow my business. I was able to, give to a cause that I really cared about. And, that really affected me because I was able to, make an impact on my life and other people's lives. So stop and think about how reaching that goal is really going to affect your life. If you can look ahead and see that, the process of doing so is going to be laid out even more impactful. So each step along the way, you're seeing those rewards.
Yeah. And this is where you guys really want to tie your why to this one so much. I mean, obviously in the faith and obviously in the family, but like what can really make an impact? If right now you're not, we do a workshop called the 5 Foundations for a Successful Business. And we have the foundation of faith, but then we also have the foundation of abundance and giving. And if you're not able to give right now because you're so strapped, I really challenge you, search some organizations that really pull at your heartstrings. Something that really that you see and you're like, I can't not hit this goal because this person is relying on me to help them. So really, bring that emotional side behind it when it comes to this. Or what would getting out of debt look like? Taking your family on a vacation to where you can just put the phones away. And it may be the last vacation that you and your kids get to spend together because one of them's going off to college or one of them is, whatever that looks like how special could that be? And when we're strapped day to day, we can't make that happen. So again, just really emotionally behind that.
So as part of that, the first easy step, and I'm going to use the example of you're trying to create a budget. Well, I'm all about from a standpoint of, there's 2 theories here I'm going to share with you is if you don't know what you're spending, it's really, really hard to put together a budget. And so the first step may be for this month in January, we're going to where did we spend all of our money? Where did it all go? And by understanding that, I think it really sets up the chance that then you can start to progress through that. I also have a major belief. And my belief is, and I'm going to talk about this, saving money, because we've talked a lot about creating the budget, money side, and kind of restricting spending. And this is something I hope to pour in kind of my philosophy is you can't cut enough. In other words, you can't reduce your spending to a point where it's going to, you can always, be more diligent. You can be more, be a better steward with your money. But if you're looking and saying, hey, our income is X and we have way more, month than we have money, I need to reduce all of my spending. Well, unless you're being absolutely frivolous and you're just spending money wild and crazy, if you're going through life and you're kind of like, this is where we're at, there may be a few points to cut. But the best solution may be we need to earn another $500 to $1,000 a month. And that's what is going to allow us to, get all of this in line. So I think as well as part of like having a budget and cutting spending, man, one of the biggest things I really suggest to people is, be more efficient with your time. That may be getting into a career that pays you better and thinking that, you're worth more. And this mindset that this is all I'm worth, that's just a mindset. So those are some challenges. I'm not going to belay it too much here because we have other topics to get to, but those are just a couple of things I want to share.
You can talk about money all day. And I'm the kind of person who's like, I don't want to see the budget. I want to put my head in the sand about it. And that's not good. So it's something I had to realize, you know, like, okay, let's sit down. Let's really talk about it. How much did I actually spend at Target last year? Like, okay. Just kidding. Okay, nobody relates. Let's talk about fun.
Fun.
Yes.
Fun.
Yes.
This is Kelly's favorite.
It is. I like to have a good time. I like to have fun. It is very important. So none of these things work for me unless I have fun. My family's sad. My faith is, you know, muted. My business, I resent it. All of those things if I'm not having fun. So it's so crucial to put this in. And I really think a lot of people need more fun than they're actually making time for. And so, I mean, I ask women all the time, I'm like, what's your hobby? And they're like, my kids. I'm like, yeah. Like, no, that is not your hobby. That cannot be your hobby. That is your job. You know, like, love your kid. That's great. But like, you got to have things that you just love and just really, really enjoy. So where can you bring some fun into your life? Is it joining? I saw somebody was joining dance classes with their husband. That's so great. That's fun. Tyler's really working on his fun. And for those of you that saw my Facebook post and him riding a zebra, he's channeling his inner fun guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can have fun.
Yeah.
That's worth a laugh if you saw it. So, it's all right. Roll with it. Come on. You know, the key there is find something that kind of gets your adrenaline going. Something that when you think about it, you get excited. And I think it has to be along those lines. I'm not one that, you know, necessarily thinks about, oh, I need to go have fun. But what I do is I do engage in, you know, we talked about indoor soccer. I
just have to schedule his fun. He really does have fun, but he won't do it unless I'm scheduling it. So let's just put it that way.
Yeah. Because I think about all the other things that I need to do, and yet I enjoy that. And that may be, you know, one night a week that, you know, you go out, you know, as we have a lot of ladies here, that you get together with some girlfriends. And you just say, that's what I need to do in order that I kind of have fun. Or for guys, it may be, you know, where I go out one night a week and that, you know, we, for example, play flag football. It may be that, you know, have like even a Bible study group with guys where we get together and we just hang out and we have fun. And so I think it's challenging.
Let's give some ideas because Rachel, great question. So Rachel, I get that. Sometimes it is hard. So it might be where you just need to set a reminder on your phone to turn on some fun music. And you are literally for 3 minutes going to dance by yourself and have some fun and feel that fun. It'll get your adrenaline going. You know, Tony Robbins talks about it, changing your state and all that kind of stuff. And that is fun. So just let yourself be free and have some fun. It could be taking a yoga class. It could be planning a vacation. It could be decorating your house. It could be shopping. It's just about scheduling some fun things. Sunday fun day, have people over for football. I love this. Yeah, you guys. So put some ideas in there for Rachel.
And it could be something, you know, not necessarily on the weekly. It could be something, you know, say for example, once a quarter, we're going to go on a weekend trip as a family where we're going to go skiing. We may, you know, go to the beach. We may go to an amusement park.
Yeah,
think about those,
a massage, a spa day.
Yeah, and it may be
yourself a pedicure or
It's something that when you stop and think about it, it's like, oh man,